Thank you. All right, next item of business is chair's message. Hello, guys. My name is Kevin Helm, the Vice President of the Corporate Events Board. I see a lot of new faces here, so just introduce myself. I was the former CAEB president right before COVID, so it was at 2019, 2020, I think. COVID just started running together. But now I'm the Vice President of CAEB. I'm excited to be here with you guys. Mark is ill, so we send him our best wishes. Other than that, just make sure you're keeping yourselves healthy, and we're getting ready for midterms as they come in, or as they come and pass by now. They get prepared for next semester. So with that being said, moving on to advisor's message.
All right, y'all. Hi, aloha, happy Tuesday. Almost November, which is crazy. So I just have a few updates. I'll share this with Student Senate on Friday for anyone that's interested in that, but class schedules for spring came out yesterday. So you can start looking at potential classes for those of you that are hoping to enroll for spring. I would encourage you all to, obviously. So the class schedules went out yesterday, and then depending on your registration date, which you should have been sent that. I think they start around the 10th is like when priority registration starts. So check your e-services for your official registration time. The update I got was that they're hoping for 30% of classes to be on ground. That's the way the schedule is laid out, but that ultimately depends on students like yourselves signing up for those classes. So that affects CAEB because in spring, if you wanted to do a club day, you have a lot more traffic than right now. Right now is 8% on ground as opposed to 30. So you could see larger traffic here. Same COVID protocols would still apply, but that's kind of the goal for the campus. And I think that's district-wide as well, but I'm not entirely sure on that. So something to keep in mind. And I think that's it for classes. The other thing real quick, lobby day is in February. No tentative or no set date yet, February of 2022. And that's where ASB would go and legislate or lobby with legislators at the state capitol, so that the student trustee and the student presidents have narrowed it down to 4 topics. And I'll put that in the chat when we're done here. But if that's something you're interested in, it goes through Senate, but anyone can be a part of that. Let me know, or I can put you in contact with our Senate President, Stacy, for more info. And then just lastly, Student Senate was asked to have a dialogue, discussion, presentation with Academic Senate about what your experiences have been like in this online world with classes, both good and constructive criticism, bad, whatever you want to call it. So for anyone that's interested, on November 18th, Student Senate is going to be meeting with them, Academic Senate, formally in a meeting to just kind of go over some of y'all's experience. So even if you can't make it, if you want to reach out to Senate and kind of share your experiences and they can relay that on, that would be great. So that's all I have. Kevin, thank you. Back to you.
All righty. Next order of business, public comment. So this time is reserved for members of the public to address the club events board. Issues not already appearing on the agenda. Of 2 minutes per speaker shall be observed, with a maximum of 4 minutes per topic. No discussion is allowed on public comment. The law does not permit any action to be taken, nor extended discussion of any items not on the agenda. The ASB Club Events Board may respond to questions. Wow, I was good at this a while ago. The ASB Club Events Board may briefly respond to statements made for questions posed. However, for further information, please contact the ASB CAEB president for the item discussion to be placed on a future agenda. With that being said, is there any public comment? Hello. Hello. Hi. Anyone with public comment at all? All right. Hearing none and seeing none, we'll move on to our next order of business, which is appointments and swearing in. As I mentioned at the roll call section, since we don't have quorum, we cannot do appointments or swearing in today. Our goal is to have these appointments done next meeting. I'm aware that we have at least one appointment to do. So I'd like to invite potential appointee to come to our next meeting on Tuesday, November 2nd, to get appointed then. And we should have our full board able to be appointed. With that being said, we're gonna go into unfinished business, which there is none. And we're going to new business. So 10.1, warming your winter. This time we reserved to discuss potentially action on creating an event called Warming Your Winter. So without any objection, if there's no objection, we will start discussing item 10.1. Hearing no objection, we shall begin discussion. So just introduced Warming Your Winter. It was an event that we did right before campus went completely remote. And essentially what it is we gave out like a care package of winter essentials to students. So we had like a small, like a tiny blanket. We had like emergency packets, Band-Aids, a minor first aid kit. Just like something to make sure we stayed healthy during the winter. I think that now, even more than last time we did it, it's really important that we emphasize the need for like public health on our campus, and possibly tying in other resources to this event, such as our health center we have on campus and other departments of the campus. Are there any ideas about what we could do for this event? Also, if you don't have any ideas right now, we'll be talking about this next meeting as well. So this is kind of just introduce it to you guys. So if you guys don't have any ideas, don't worry about it. We'll try to brainstorm more next meeting as well.
Are we talking about distributing care products or?
Yes. So the Warming Your Winter event previously was an event where we handed out like minor care packages to students. So this is just a discussion of what we could do for it this year.
Maybe like a drive-through?
So we'd have to plan it around the how COVID is, how COVID will dictate what we're doing. Previously it wasn't on ground, like we handed them out, but I don't think it would be feasible at this point. So I think the best idea would be a drive-through.
Yeah, I think so too.
That's a great point. And your name is Liz?
Yeah, it's Elizabeth Adam.
Well, nice to meet you. Welcome to our meeting.
Thank you.
Any other ideas for that?
Hey, Kevin.
Hey, what's up?
So with the drive-through, that's probably the most feasible. The ranch house has like a drive-through area. But I imagine they don't want, for a student-run event, they don't want to be the ones in charge of distributing it unless it was, we'd have to have some people there to help do the actual distributing. So that would be something to think about in terms of scheduling and who can be there and who can't. But the logistics, the infrastructure is there to do a drive-through.
Good to know. Good to know. And just repeating one more time, we're going to take all these ideas. I'm going to give them to our president, and we will discuss this again next meeting. So if during the week we are apart, you have any more ideas, please bring them to our next meeting. And as VP, I actually am the event planner, so I'll try to also come up with like a game plan for what we could do for this as well, because winter is coming up fast upon us, as we discussed earlier. Anything else to add to Warming Your Winter before we move on to spring semester planning? Alrighty. So next order of business will be spring semester planning. So this time we shall be reserved to discuss and take action on planning for the spring 2022 semester. There's a typo in that. So next semester, as Brett just told us, will be 30% on ground is the goal. And as such, CAEB being an events board, will be able to do more on campus. We've had some success with offline events, but our main meat and potatoes is being on ground, interacting with students, hosting events. So that goal is for us to get more of that event planning done. Of course, we have to keep in mind COVID restrictions and the fact that we still have to maintain COVID guidelines. But I think it would be a lot more possible than we thought before to have events on campus and for them to be successful. So right now we can like kind of spitball ideas out. So if anyone has any ideas of what they would want to see on campus next semester, feel free to go ahead and share them at this moment.
sorry, what was the question?
So pretty much we're just discussing what we want to see on our campus next semester. So CAEB, we are the event planners of student government essentially. And so, or of ASB, sorry. And so our goal is to create events that promote student inclusion and student participation in the campus as a whole. Things like the warming your winter event would be a good example of what we do. We're known for club days, which I hope to get back to next semester.
I think that would be a great idea for next semester, club day. I don't know. I mean, depending how many people are on campus.
Mm-hmm. I think you bring up a great point that we are limited by how many people that we expect to come to our event. I think that going into this, we should plan. I would say plan for or hope for the best, and plan for the worst case scenario, essentially. So, like, hope for having in-person events, also be able to convert them to online events if we need to. If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Also, like I said, it's just introduction to the topic, and we will discuss more next meeting. Just trying to just get like the worm in your brain right now, and like, think about anything that you would want to see. When we come back together next week, we'll have a more full conversation about what we'd like to see. But so, any other ideas before we move on to the next topic?
Just one thing, Kevin, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
For spring, doing anything on ground, in the past, we could plan stuff and get tables and chairs pretty easily. But with COVID protocols, on my end, I'm going to need a little more time. So if we set a date, I don't know, probably by the end of this semester, setting a date for a potential event in spring, that would help because that way I could let operations know.
Mm-hmm.
The COVID protocols change all the time. So who could come, who couldn't come, like all that stuff, we still need to figure out. So a big ask for me would be a little more time to, once we set a date, so that we can work out those logistics on the back end.
I agree. Thank you for that. Any other ideas? All right, so there's no objection. We'll move on to item 10.3, which is update on point incentive / digital grant form. Is there any objection moving on to item 10.3? All right, hearing none and seeing none, we're moving on to item 10.3. This time shall be reserved to discuss and take action on the point incentive / grant form. Brett, can you take the lead on this one?
Sure. So clubs that are chartered are eligible for club points or incentive points. So showing up to CAEB meetings, hosting a campus event, whether that's virtual or on ground, attending other events on campus or online. And so what happens is at the end of the year, whatever money is left in the CAEB budget is distributed based on those club points. So that's kind of how that system works. I believe, Kevin, it was like 2 weeks ago, you all maybe 3 weeks ago, adopted the same club points that we had from your term.
I'm waiting on the minutes to see if we actually did go and approve it, but I know we discussed it for sure.
I'm 99% sure they were approved, but yeah, we'll check the minutes. So that's
unless it was the meeting where you weren't there.
No, we did it again the following meeting.
Oh, okay. Then it was probably approved.
So that's how that works. The club grants forms, I'm having all sorts of technical issues because I don't know if we have any student employees here on the call, but Los Rios instituted a new sign-in form for anything Google related. And it is messing up all my Google Forms and my Google Docs and how to sign up, and I can't get access to some of them. So I created a temporary one about a week or two ago, and now I can't access it. It locked me out of it. So I can't share it yet because I can't get in it. But there is a club grant form. I just need to figure out some tech specs on it.
So going on off that, Brett, would it be possible for us to get a PDF, a blank PDF of the old one that we had, and just post that somewhere, maybe on our Instagram page or whatnot, or a link to like a drive where we have just exported documents for the public.
Yeah.
That way, say a club needs to print it out, they can print it out, sign it, and scan it if that works for them. Just in the meantime,
Yeah, we can do that.
that way they have like some way to have a grant form in case they need one.
Sure.
Cool.
I think that would solve the problem temporarily. It'd give you more time to like figure out the tech without being pressured to finish immediately. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I
Because
can
you
do
are a
that.
busy person.
I'll get that out today or tomorrow. That should be an easy short-term fix.
Thank
Can
you
I
for that,
ask
Brett.
a
I appreciate
question?
it. Yeah, feel free.
Okay, because I've never been to this meeting before, so our club gets points, right, for attending this and other events, and
Yes.
then we get like a monetary incentive at the end of the year.
Yes.
Okay, is it the calendar year, like January through December, or?
It's academic year. So starting from August 30th, which is our first CAEB meeting, all the way until I don't know when the last meeting this year is, but it will be the last meeting in May. The last
Okay.
meeting in May, we give out all the allocation data for it, and we vote on the allocation, so we can have that process over summer.
Sure.
That way, clubs
Okay.
can get the money into their accounts.
Oh, I got you. So it's like August of 21 through May of 22. And then,
Yes.
what kind of points, how many points do we get for attending this meeting, for example?
So I actually made the last one, the one that we're using. So let me pull the file up real fast. Give me one moment. But from my memory, it was 3 points per meeting. So we'll show the next meeting. We'll get the full diagram out and displayed for you guys. But the only category that does not have a maximum cap of points would be the CAEB meeting.
Mhm.
So each semester, so spring or fall semester is 18 weeks. So that would be a maximum of 54 points, I believe, if my math is correct. And then the spring semester, I believe we have 16 meetings. So that'd be a maximum of 48 points there. So we have like a maximum of 102 for attending if you attended every CAEB meeting. And then
Is that dollar per point, or?
so the point values get determined at the end of the semester.
Oh, okay.
So we have like a set pot of money. So once we get everyone's points submitted, so we have a submission process that we do, which we'll go over next week as well. So as you go along, it's easier to submit the points to us that we keep a record of it. And then, so say like we have a pot of $100, right? And your club gets 70 points and club B gets 30 points. And there's
Gotcha.
and there's $100, so that would be a dollar per point. But say if there's like 200, your club would get 140. The other club would get 60. If that makes sense.
60, yeah. Okay. Oh, I gotcha. Okay, so do we need to do anything on our end in order to, besides show up to keep record of our attendance?
Yeah, so so if you show up to meetings, we take attendance a roll call every meeting. So we'll take the roll call for this meeting here, and then you won't do anything on your end for our meetings. There is a whole like we call it our passport. So there's like a passport of things you can do to get points, and we'll go over that next meeting as well. But it's like points for participating more or giving back to the campus more. So like that, so like an example that we had from 2019, 2020 is that the animation club hosted a movie screening for like to promote the CAEB studio that was set on fire, I believe that same like fall. So they had like a whole like cultural event discussing the significance of the fire, what works were lost and whatnot, and they were able to get club points for hosting that event.
Oh, I see. Okay. So when is the next meeting? Is it Tuesday at 10:30?
Yes, every Tuesday at 10:30.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
No problem. Anything else anyone would like to add to this topic before we move on?
Are you said you're gonna send that chart out to us all?
Yes. I believe I sent it to Mark, you and Brett. We can get everyone's email and I can send that again myself.
I just put it in the chat.
Okay. Thank you, Brett.
Well, yeah, that doesn't do me any good though. I mean, I need it in email.
No problem. We'll make sure to get the email out to you, Lori. No problem.
Okay, appreciate it. Thank you.
No problem.
And that's
And,
very exciting about the grant application too.
Alrighty. And so if there's no objection, we'll move on to committee reports. Hearing and seeing none, we will go on and move on to committee reports. This time is reserved for committee chairs to provide the board with a brief report on current standing of active committees. As of right now, we don't have any standing committees of CAEB. I believe we'll be creating some next meeting, but we'll discuss that when the time occurs. So we're gonna move to our next order of business, which is board member reports and announcements. This time is reserved for board members to inform the board about relevant campus-wide events and to report any pertinent community activities in progress. A time of 3 minutes per report shall be observed. I gave my report during the chair's message. So starting off with sociology club.
Is that also club reports?
Yes.
Okay, well, for sociology, I sent you the flyer for our speaker for today. So I don't know if you can put that on the share the screen.
I have it. 1 sec.
Thank you.
It's for the vaccine myths and public health event, correct?
Yeah, we switched them around, so I'm confused. I didn't remember what it was, but I think she just sent it to me Sunday or yesterday.
I think it's the one that's on screen right now.
Huh?
I was saying I think that the one Brett's displaying is the one
Yeah.
that.
Oh, yeah, there we go. Vaccine. That sounds more like it.
Alrighty. So you guys are hosting that event today at 12:30.
And the Zoom link is on the flyer.
Anything else for your report?
Well, I put it in the email. AAUW is supposedly going to make masks for my sister's house. And we may go and volunteer for an event there. Also, we're trying to do some community service. And sociology on their research project, I mentioned about how they brought up in Senate about how students are upset that a lot of online classes have no lecture. But I think they're going to go with something about equity and ethnicity. But I don't have the details on that yet.
Well, when you do get the details, just email us and I'll make sure to spread out to the board.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other club reports? Alrighty, hearing none and seeing none, move on to public comment. If you do have a report for your club that happens in between the week and that you want to email myself, Brett, and or Mark, please feel free to. But with that being said, we're going to move on to public comment. So this time is reserved for members of the public to address the club and events board or on issues already not appearing on the agenda. 2 minutes per speaker should be observed with maximum 4 minutes per topic. Discussion is allowed on public comment. The board law does not permit any action to be taken nor discussion of the items on the agenda. The ASB Club and Events Board may be respond to statements made for questions posed. However, further information, please contact the ASBK president for the item discussed to be placed on the future agenda. This is going to be second public comment section. Any additional public comment today? Alrighty, hearing and seeing none, we're moving to everyone's favorite part of the meeting, which is adjournment. So there's no objection. We'll adjourn this meeting at 11:21 a.m. or 11:23 a.m. Hearing none and seeing none, we are adjourned at 11:23 a.m. Thank you guys for coming, and I'll see you guys next week.
Thank you.
All right, y'all.
Thank you.
Sorry for all the tech issues this morning, but thanks for coming, and we'll see you next Tuesday.
So I just want to make sure I'm on, since I came in late, that I'm on the attendance. And is there any, has anybody moved to do anything on Warm Your Winter?
So we didn't meet quorum today, so we just did a discussion.